then you could go a sit down, or you have access to all types of guns, weapons. You have crews behind you, where if you say something, you can back it.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about John Gotti Jr. talking about John Alite. Well, he responds to him, and we're going to get into it today. Today, I don't have Sonny with me. He's feeling under the weather. Shout out to Sonny. He's a great guy. He'll be back. And I appreciate all you guys that take the time to watch this show. Pork Dread, what's going on? Mustang Mike, Latin Butterfly, what's good? Thomas, Mike Sula, Rara, what's going on, man? Salvatore. We got a lot of people in the house. It's building fast. And I appreciate you guys. So today, this is a really interesting one. I'm doing great. Peter Pan, how are you? If you guys seen this interview before, Leon, what's going on? So this is John Gotti Jr.'s response to John Alite. And I'm going to be dropping some exclusive content you can't see anywhere else tonight, part 2. Seems I've been stirring up a lot of people. They seem like they're, I don't know, personally invested. It's kind of weird. But that's okay. Because mind over matter, people. I don't mind because they don't matter. But anyway, let's get to the content.
Lost.
Seems I'm the most popular guy on social media these days, huh? So John Gotti Jr. is seeking revenge.
Gotti Sr., who died in prison 9 years ago, was a ruthless gangster who craved celebrity. The son appeared to believe his story, wanted out. And John Gotti Jr. wants people to believe his story.
How many people believe John Gotti Jr.'s story? I believe it. Who out there believes his story? He's going to talk about this guy and his falsehoods. There's a whole bunch of them. We're going to get into it. Who believes Junior's story? I believe it. It says Alite was an associate of John Gotti. It says Senior. No, he was a friend of Junior's. He used to go to sleepovers. That's about it. But we're gonna see what's up. Here's a picture of them at the sleepover. He was convicted on several counts of murder, conspiracy, and racketeering, and was sentenced in 2011 to 10 years in prison. Because he cooperated. He wouldn't have that sentence without his cooperation. He was a prosecution witness to his former associate, Gotti, as well as other members and associates of organized crime. He was released from prison in 2012. Didn't they just say that they gave him 10 years? So how is he sentenced? Hold on, let's bring that back. He was sentenced in 2011 to 10 years. Like, let this sink in, all right? He was sentenced to 10 years in 2011. He was released from prison in 2012? Does that make any sense to you guys?
In the case of John Alite, who for the most part, man on man, was a coward.
Oh, what's going on? Bald Insecure, how are you? Jeremy, what's going on, man? How are you? Congratulations on your new kid.
Always a coward. He was a hide in the bush kind of guy.
Hide in the bush kind of guy, like a lot of these cowards out here.
He cried in front of the judge and says, I only pulled the trigger one time, Your Honor. He cried at his sentencing.
Drive-by kind of guys, you know, drive-by. they want to be relevant to the internet. They want to make a spectacle of shit. They don't a lot of people, they don't want to like call you behind the scenes and say, let's handle business, you know, like men do it. RV Docs, how are you? No, they want to make a big thing of it on the internet, make threats and this and that, because they're cowards. That's what cowards do.
But I had knowledge of 3 or 4 of the murders.
I'm doing great, Jeremy. Things are really good.
She gave him a great deal. She gave him a great deal. The U.S. attorney in Florida wanted him to have 17 years. New York, believe it or not, argued to get him down as low as possible. She gave him a 10-year deal, 120 months.
How does he get out in a year, though? It just said that he was released, unless that was a typo or something. I don't know. It says he was released in 2012. He was sentenced in 2011. He was released in 2012. Salvatore says, ambulance alert.
He cried, was removed from the court, and then they came back several months later, resold him one more time. They repackaged him. After we punished him and sent him chasing, they never used him again.
After he opened a few bottles. Oh, man.
He was caught in so many lies in my case, they never used him again, ever. He was retired, this guy. But yet they repackaged it and says, lied to the judge and says, Susan Bucklew, and said, we achieved 4 more convictions as a result of the information that John Alite has given us. Can you take more time off? And she did. She further cut his sentence. He was released out into the public. And here's a guy that now, the speaking engagements, you know what he says? I was involved in 15 murders. He did 15.
Mr. 15 murder man, huh? Now he was involved in every murder from Paul Castellano. He was the inside man on that. He got the 911 call. He knew all about it. He probably sucked the warden off to get out early. Probably. Meet Roadrunner, pure entertainment, Staxx. I appreciate you, man. Wambulance. He called the wambulance.
Another speaking engagement, dozens of people. I killed dozens of people. The embellishments get greater and greater and greater and greater because why? Because he was given absolution. The FBI, his handlers had given him absolution. So now he's emboldened.
So that's the reason why he's able to say, I killed all these people that never existed. I went in a bar, killed this one and that one. I sat at the bar. I told him, pour me a drink. He takes scenes from movies and he puts them in his own life. It's pretty incredible. Really great stuff.
Now, the reality of what you represented to that judge is no longer the reality. The truth now is what you're saying now. I'm not a humble guy. I'm not thankful for the second shot of being released.
For the most part, almost the entire jury didn't believe the star witness. He wasn't credible at all.
My case, the jurors were void after the case.
It's crazy, right? Inducted. I can't believe Paul Vario was inducted after being a convicted R. Oh man, I didn't know that. I need to dig into that one. So Sammy Gravano embellishes quite a bit lately too. Caught him out in another lie, and we're gonna do a show about that later. Not today, but sometime this week. Sammy Gravano is trying to say that he met with Carlo Gambino now. No, you didn't.
This stood around, all said the reason why, the ones that wanted to convict me said the reason why we couldn't convict him because we didn't believe John Alite was star witness. And they all said, the 10 that stood around to answer questions, we had a problem. We couldn't hold on because of John Alite, but we did believe in Mikey Scars de Leonardo. We did believe Dominic Cicali, but Alite we did not believe. All 10 that stood there in that room to be voir dire all said that he was so unbelievable, he was ridiculous.
How did he get a deal like that? I don't understand. If they cooperate and they don't convict the person, how are they able to still like walk away from their sentence if their testimony didn't work? How? It really makes no sense. Maybe we could have him explain. Explain, Johnny boy. Everyone, throw quarters at him. I don't think he's making a comment today.
He pulled the script right out of Sammy Gravano's book, right on down to being on the stand and saying that I have no intention of writing a book under oath. Said I'm not going to write a book. When the whole time we had him on tape writing the book, okay? And the same thing. Followed his lead. Only the difference is that Sammy Gravano was a somebody. He was everything that he said he was. John Alite was a gutter rat mutt.
I believe Sammy Gravano's a gutter rat and mutt too. That's just my personal opinion.
Now you get a shot, you're home, you're released. And rather than go and take care of your children, take care of your family, you're out breaking laws, welfare fraud, construction fraud, terrorizing people on the internet, and trying to market yourself as a motivational speaker when you're abusing. We've had information that was sent to us of abusing his own children, his own son. I mean, just the guy's he's a horrible excuse of a person. I received messages.
So speaking of that, I got a video. I'm sure you guys remember it, where John Alite is bragging that he brung his own son on an alleged hit. And he said, "Oh, don't worry about that. That's just fireworks." And he's like, I joke with him saying, I brung you on your first hit at 6 years old. Now, is that someone that changed? Is that someone that's looking to better the kids? John Alite is a complete waste of space, I believe. And I think he is not trying to help anybody. The only thing he's trying to help is his pockets. He doesn't care about nobody or nothing, especially the people that he's associated with, like Chief Suckums. He admits it. He doesn't care about nobody or nothing. He'll do whatever he wants. Ain't that right, Suckums? Yep.
My office, voicemails, and for example, his mother came forward and contacted my office to talk to me. His mother.
Hey, the Bronx, how are
His
you?
older brother, his only brother, contacted my office to talk to me. His son, his eldest son, contacted my office to talk to me.
Now, why would John Alite's older brother and older son contact Junior? For what reason? That's kind of odd, isn't it? Alite's the first, like Stevie Wonder was the lamp post. Anyone could see this. Even Stevie Wonder could see that he's not helping kids.
Now that must tell you how bad of an individual this must be. If those peoples, your mother, your only brother, your eldest son, contact me to give me information and talk.
That's crazy. His own mother contacted him to give him information. Mustang Mike, how are you? Thomas, what's good? RV Docs. Got a lot of people in the house. Jose, how you doing? I read something a long time ago in the Daily News. I believe it was back in 2013 that John Angelo Gotti was stabbed during a fight. He was breaking up somewhere in Long Island. I didn't read that, but I'll look into it.
Talk to me about you, the subject matter. How bad of a person are you really? I mean, and he's one of the worst I've ever seen. He's one of the worst individuals I've ever come across in my life. If people were to ask me if I have an axe to grind, I do. Because he was facilitated by certain individuals and sold a lie. His handler from the 90s, his name was Dave Gentile, provided him with a vehicle to get to certain media personalities to market a story of total untruths.
How is that possible? How is he able? I don't understand. How are you able to cooperate with the government to try to put someone in prison? Well, no, he tried to give him the death penalty. It wasn't just put him in prison. He tried to give him the death penalty. They wanted to execute Gotti Jr. And he gets out and he's able to write a book with his handlers, with the FBI handlers. How is that even legal? How is that possible? It sounds like a conspiracy to me. How about you guys? Sounds like total bullshit.
He sat there and lie after lie after lie. Brazilian stories about gladiator fights that now, the media personalities, the person who had written this book, George Anastasia, he could have very easily did what I did. He says in his book that I couldn't check out the stuff that happened in Brazil.
Why'd he put it in the book then? If he couldn't check out the stuff in Brazil, how come he put it in the book? About him taking a 8-inch blade out of his ass and killing 2 guards. And they didn't retaliate against him at all. Not at all, not even a little bit. They let him do his thing. He was running the prison, remember?
Well, I did. It cost me $7,000. I hired a lawyer and a private investigator in Brazil. They found me hundreds and hundreds of pages of files. They found me the guard that punched Alite in the mouth, knocked his tooth out when he got loud with him.
Oh, is that what this picture is from? It's gotta be. That has to be where the tooth picture's from. So the guard punched him in the face. Is that what happened? We never knew. I thought he was opening a Corona bottle or something. Or a Heineken. They were using his mouth for a bottle opener. Ain't that right, Johnny?
They found me his cellmate. I found them all. Interviewed every one of them. Lie after lie after lie. There was no gladiator fights with 8-inch blades he pulled out of his rectum and stabbed the guy 32 times in one of his stories that he told. That never.
Did you hear that? So that's the alleged incident that people are talking about, that he pulled a knife, an 8-inch blade out of his rectum, and he stabbed, I believe he said 2 guards, killed 2 guards. I could be wrong, but listen to this story. It's insane.
They found me the guard that punched Alite in the mouth, knocked his tooth out when he got loud with him. They found me his cellmate. I found them all. Interviewed every one of them. Lie after lie after lie. There was no gladiator fights with 8-inch blades he pulled out of his rectum and stabbed the guy 32 times in one of his stories that he told, that never appeared in any of his 302s, or never appeared at the trial, or never appeared in any of the briefings to the agents, and many thousands of hours of the briefings that he had given to the agents. It never appears anywhere. All of a sudden, all this fiction appears. And you say to yourself, this is a guy that's A, not remorseful, B, he's manipulative, and he's looking for an opportunity. He lied his way to get out of jail. He got a willing agent who was desperate to get a conviction against me because I punished him and destroyed his career, this agent, okay? Spun a tale, helped perjure his testimony, got him out of jail, and yet this is a guy that's not saying, you know what, I got away with it.
Yeah, you know what? I think a lot of these people, just like Dominic Sicali, just like, you know, Chief Suckums, all of them, I think they're still involved with some criminal activity. That's my personal opinion, but I have a strong feeling that they're doing something. They're involved some way, somehow. Because they have no remorse at all. I heard Dominic Sicali slinging these on the black market. Hooked on phonics didn't work for him. But I believe some way, somehow, they are involved with criminal activity. That's my personal belief. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. And I think EG Vodka is a shitty brand, too.
This is a guy that's looking for another opportunity. He's sizing up his mark. That's all he's doing. And the problem is that you're watching his handler permit this. Because you've had complaints from civilians, you've had complaints from 5-time Emmy Award-winning journalist Peter Lance, who was threatened by this guy, okay? And it was all being ignored, all ignored. In the case of John Alite, he was living right next door to another government cooperator. Now, his FBI handler had to know this. It had to be a violation of his parole, okay? But yet he's living right next door to another individual went by the name, Sean Richards was his name. He was the son-in-law to the Cavalcanti family. He was accused of being the boss. John Riggi. It was his ex-son-in-law who got caught up in construction frauds and a whole host of crimes, testified against numerous individuals, and he ends up living right next door, he and John Alite together, doing construction jobs together. Okay.
How ironic that these cooperators link together. All of them do. They need each other to thrive. That is pretty weird, right? He was sentenced to 10 years in 2011, and he was let out in 2012. Now, how is that possible? Like, he didn't spend, and he goes on podcasts and says, I spent 10 years in prison because he got sentenced to 10 years. So it's crazy. Can you imagine what Gotti would love to do to Alite? 100%. Yeah, I can only imagine. It's pretty crazy. Rats find their level, right? Yeah, you're right about that, David. They have to congregate together so they can feed off each other. And then when it's a full moon, they all howl at the moon together. It's fucking weird shit.
Facilitated by the handlers. Okay, there's no other excuse for it. There's no other way you can explain it.
Pretty crazy. Now we're gonna take a look at this video of Alite claiming that he was involved somehow with the Castellano hit. And in this show I'm gonna play you, he says that he didn't know Gotti Sr. He had no dealings with him, right? Gotti Sr. was not the boss until after Castellano was killed. So he admits to meeting Sr. after Castellano was killed. But in the same video, he says that he got a 911 page that Castellano was killed from Gotti. You can't make this up. Let's take a look.
We get some 911 texts on our beepers. Back in those days, it was beepers. And I kept getting them 911, 911.
Huh? You don't say. You were getting 911 pages that the boss was killed? Just pay attention, people.
And behind the 911, I'm getting 98. That means come to the club on 98th Street or Bergen. So I know something happened. It's all over the news. It's flashed everywhere. That Paul Castellano was hit in front of Sparks Steakhouse.
Big Paul Castellano, reputed godfather of the Gambino family, was on his way.
Money up to the boss of the Gambino family. John.
Now, you just heard him, right? That he knew that the hit was happening. He got a 911 page. Now listen to this. He says he didn't meet him till after. Listen to this. It's funny.
Gotti, the boss of all bosses, the head of the mafia. Gotti heard that I was a big earner for the family, and now he wanted to see me.
So he heard of him? How did he hear of him? Makes no sense.
I knew this was it for me. I was moving up the ladder to the top. I knew I couldn't get any higher than John Gotti.
But Alite, wasn't Alite in on killing Castellano?
This was my
Back in 85? But now he's talking about 1986.
time. The first time I see John Gotti,
Listen close, because this is 1986.
I look at him with respect, fear, intimidation. He looks in my eyes, and he said, "Will you be loyal to this family?"
Now, this is the first time that he allegedly met Gotti Sr. And he's trying to say that Gotti Sr. said to him, "You're going to be loyal to this family." He doesn't even know who he is. He just heard of him, right? Gotti wasn't the boss until after Paul got killed. So, was close.
Above anything else in your life, are you willing to give your life for me and my family? I said, I can do that. He said, you never, ever talk about anything we discuss here? And I said, 100%. Family, above anything else, with respect, fear. The first time I see John Gotti, the first time I see John Gotti, the first time I see John Gotti, the first time I see John Gotti.
It's out of his own mouth. The first time he sees John Gotti. Wow.
I see John Gotti. I look at him with respect, fear, intimidation. He looks in my eyes, and he said, will you be loyal to this family above anything else in your life? Are you willing to give your life for me and my family? I said, I can do that. He said, you never, ever.
But he wasn't in any of his books. He wasn't in any of his books. He was an Albanian made man. He didn't have to live by the rules. He ran the family.
Talk about anything we discuss here? And I said, 100%.
But this is the first time he's meeting him. And he's saying, you don't talk about anything we discuss here. You're going to be loyal to me and my family. He said, yeah, I could do that. You slept over at Junior's house. You weren't in the Gambino family. I think it's hilarious. It really is. It's quite funny how these people embellish the truth. It seems they can't get it right. They just can't. And these guys with their stories. So we're going to take a look at how Mr. Alite helps the kids. Let's take a look.
The week of the Johnny and Gene show. I'm Johnny Alite, and this is Gene Borello.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody?
So today we're going to talk about some things that relate to the street and violence.
Hey, Eugene, you're losing your lips.
And Gene, I guess you could kick it off with me.
Right. So, a lot of people always ask us questions, and, constantly. You know, there's a lot of people that talk and, you know, give their stories and everything like that. But the thing,
Oh, they talk and give their stories? No, you don't say. Come on, suckums. They talk and give their stories. Staxx, how old were you when you got a beeper? I think I was 14, 15, on there. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe 16. I don't remember. I went to prison at a young age, and when I got out, I got a beeper. And I used to have what was that shit called? The sidekick. You know, the one that flips up and you type. I used to have one of those. And back then, it was like a lot of money. You know, back in the day, $100 was a lot of money. Like, it's not like today. Like $100 was a lot of money. And I think it cost like $2.90. And that was a lot of money. And I've had one. You heard how Brillo Pad sounded gay just then? Yeah, a little bit. Beepers weren't even out till like 92, 93. So how did he have a beeper in 85? It's crazy. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, I didn't have a beeper in 93. I got my first tattoo in 1993, though. I remember that. On my ankle. I got the infinity sign, the Souls of Mischief. Do you guys remember that song from Souls of Mischief? Infinity? I got, they had a sign of a circle with a line and 3 dots. It was hieroglyphics. And it stood for infinity. And that's when I got my first tattoo.
with us is that we like to give facts, and we give names and places and where it was done and anything particular. We like to keep it, you know, to the facts.
Oh, straight out of Wikipedia, huh? The facts. Seems there's a lot of fact checkers out there lately. That's good, though. Let them do their thing.
And when I was in the street, you know, I did a lot of the violence myself. You know, I mean, I had other guys. I had a really vicious, violent robbery team. We were
He tied up women in Howard Beach. He's not even welcome in his own neighborhood. That is pretty sad.
labeled a violent bunch of violent thugs, whatever they call us on the internet. But I had a pretty violent team.
You called yourself that, Mr. Violence. The only violence he ever commits is with...
I did this to the door.
That's the only violence he commits.
I did this to the door. I pushed the door in.
In this Airbnb, right?
Yes, I pushed the door.
And whose card is on file here?
Yours. But I'm gonna fix it.
Yours. I'm gonna fix it. Please, don't call the cops.
And I was very violent myself, and a lot of the work that we did ourselves. Now,
I did this to the door. I pushed the door in.
He did all that work himself. He didn't fix it himself, but he called the guys to fix it. You know, let me set the record straight with that. Ain't that right, Eugene?
what? It's always different when you're pulling the trigger. It's always different when you actually have to sit on the person.
Let's hear about hits in the mob from a non-made member who never committed a murder.
It's always different because unless you're there and you know that feeling about, you know, the nerves, everything that kicks in when you're sitting on someone to shoot them or kill them or hurt them, whatever you're going to do.
You never did that. Maybe you wanted to, but you never killed anybody. So what is this shit all about? Why are you even talking? Look at this one over here. Elton John. Look at him sitting there. Just dumb look on his face.
It's a lot different than being in the background and, you know, sending someone to do it, which I feel.
Oh, it's different. ordering someone to go commit violence. That's not the person in charge, huh? The person committing the violence is. It's not the person giving the orders. That's what these idiots are trying to explain right here. Oh, it's too much.
Anyone could do that, but you know, at the end of the day, you are still going to wear the same charge. The person.
Oh, anyone can go tell you to commit violence and you're going to do it? Yeah. That reminds me of someone stupid. Yeah, someone that's really stupid.
The person sending you will still get the same time as the person doing it. But for me, I always felt like the guy doing the legwork was always more in danger, always more out there and more capable. So, you know, I wanted to go into some things with Johnny Alite because, you know, obviously, you know, when I want to make this clear to everybody, we're not bragging about what we did, but
Oh, it sure does sound like it, huh? We were a violent, vicious crew. Yeah, he killed the fly, Santa. He killed the fly, and he told the government about that murder with the fly, so he can have some kind of recognition on his fucking record, right? Insane.
we try to explain our stories and tell the people what we've been through because it's a part of our life, you know. And I want to get into a particular crime with Johnny Alite, one of his murders. You know, we like to talk about exactly how it happened, how you planned it, you know, the name of the person and where he was killed, because it shows facts and truth of behind what we've done.
Jordy Grasso and Johnny Gabbett, right? Let me guess. Watch when he says, how many people did you actually kill, John? He doesn't answer it straight. Not at all. He doesn't give a straight answer. Watch. It's pretty funny.
So a particular murder that I actually, you know of, a man I believe you killed in a bar. You had shot him in his head, I believe.
I shot, well, it depends because I shot a lot of people, obviously, but what I could go through is this. Let me just, for the people that know me or don't know details or don't know exactly what Gene's talking about, I'll tell you about some of the charges I was charged with. And you can ask me about any one of these, I guess. So some of the murders I was charged with the murder of Georgie Grasso that people heard me talk about before. We shooting him a couple of times.
How did I guess this? Come on, it was Georgie Grasso? Come on, don't say that. Nextel 2A, I remember those, 100%. The chirp ones. I had one of those. I had one of those in 2006. I had a Nextel 2A. 2006. They were pretty popular back then. I had a white one. Or it was gray. It was gray. They had a bunch of different kinds. They had the regular ones, like, you know, like that didn't fold. They had those Nextels, and then they had the flip phone Nextels, the black one and the tan one, or gray. 100% all they're doing is bragging here, Peter Pan. That's all they do. They brag about bullshit. They don't just tell a story. Like, it's impossible for them to do that.
In the head. I was charged with the Johnny Gabbett murder, where I...
don't you say. Georgie Grasso, Johnny Gabbett.
I ordered guys from prison when I was in prison to hit him the first week I was locked up.
Oh, then you didn't kill him, huh, Johnny? You didn't pull the trigger on that one? Oh, wait, you did from Brazilian prison?
I also talked about the Bruce Got Her Up murder.
Hey, Mustang Mike, thank you. I appreciate you, man. Had a bunch. My favorite was the NASCAR Flip Nextel. Yeah, I never seen that one. Bart Simpson would be proud of Gene's lips. They're sliding off his face.
That I ordered him and Latin King and Burke.
Also, make it clear to everyone, how many people did you physically kill yourself?
All right, listen to his answer. It's pretty entertaining, guys.
I'm involved in, and I'll get into it today.
Come on, get into it now. He just asked you a fucking question. Answer the question.
From prison, when I was in prison, to hit him the first week I was locked up.
That's one of the murders he brags about a lot. The Bruce got her up murder. Georgie Grasso. I killed Georgie Grasso, and Georgie Grasso. But he didn't die. He was in a vegetable, but he didn't die.
I also talked about the Bruce got her up murder, that I ordered him and Latin King and Burke.
Also,
King
make it clear to everyone, how many
Listen to this shit. Listen.
people did you physically kill yourself?
I'm involved in, and I'll get into it today because I'm going to be more specific. I've been involved in about 15 homicides.
Right.
Now it's 15. Before that, after this, I believe he says it was dozens and dozens. About 2 dozen. So it doubled. The number doubled.
So, you know, people ask me, and that's why I want to get into specifics. Ricky Stratton was the 4th guy that was also killed.
Right.
He was also killed, not by you.
He died a month after he was shot in the head by me. And one of the guys that went along on that was Larry Cuccarelli, who's dead. He was.
Yeah, so you can't find out the truth because he's dead, not killed by you. I believe this dude didn't kill none of them people. He just takes responsibility for it because he has absolution on his cooperation agreement. Makes sense now. He did come back pregnant, Michael Brooks. He did come back pregnant. His baby's sitting right next to him. Lips.
Was one of the guys in the car. I'm not going to mention the other guys in the car. They were alive. And
because they'll tell you I'm lying. He's not going to mention the rest of the guys in the car because they're going to tell that he's lying.
Obviously, they know who was with me in that car. I was involved in a shooting at TT. I shot him in the head who lived.
Come on, that's not a murder, Johnny. Why are you saying murders that where they lived? Watch this. It's really, really good. It gets really good. He says he beat this guy to death, but he survived. Those are his exact words.
I was involved in a double homicide with Frankie Burke in Brooklyn. Both those guys are dead.
Are they? Huh. He was involved with a double homicide in Brooklyn. Both those guys are dead.
I was involved in a double shooting with Angelo Castelli, was actually the shooter, and Joey Danka with me. Frankie Burke shows up later on and meets us. I believe he killed the one guy in that.
Well, why are you taking responsibility for it if he killed the one guy? It's just none of his stories make sense at all. They're all bullshit. Yeah, I did. Thank you for that, rah-rah. My bad. I missed it. I appreciate that. I really do. You're killing them, Staxx. Slap my ass off. This is hilarious. I appreciate you, man. Gene slowly opens the Vaseline jar and applies Vaseline to Mr. Alite.
He's the shooter. I was involved in a shooting with Johnny Gebbett where I'm the driver of 4 Jamaicans.
Now he killed 4 Jamaicans. You can't make this shit up, man. He killed 4 Jamaicans now. They were from the shower posse, and I killed them. They're dead.
I'm not sure how many guys died on that shooting.
Come on. You don't know how many died? But you were the killer, right? Watch, he starts saying he piped guys, too. Do you guys know that he got...
I'm the driver.
Do you guys know that he got caught smuggling sperm out of a prison? Did you know that? Oh, yeah. That's real. Like, he really got caught smuggling sperm out of a prison. And we're going to get into that story on the next one. Let's keep going with this one.
I'm involved in at least a double homicide on my property when 5 guys came to kill.
On your property? Are you sure, Johnny? Were you involved with double homicide. I thought it was 3 guys got killed that time. Hold on, I got a clip. Let me find it. Let's see if I can find it. You killed 3 guys on your property? Oh, man. You can't make this shit up. You can't. And, like, people really believe this shit. That's what's funny. Here we go. I found it.
With 3 guys on your property?
They come to kill me, 5 guys.
5 guys. They brought burgers and fries. You shot 5 guys on my property? You killed 2 guys on your property?
You shot 2 or 3 guys on your property?
They come to kill me, 5 guys. Pete Gotti knew about it, Jr. They didn't make a move to come with me. I had the underground bell system.
He had an underground bell system. The bell rang underground. He was the first one in the country to have it. What's the total now? I don't know. I wasn't keeping tally, but we'll keep tally on the next one.
I drove to the house. I shot it out with both of them. I believe I killed 2 or 3 of them.
2 or 3, but they got rid of the bodies, right? But he doesn't know how many died. The cat's pissed.
You shot 2 or 3 guys on your property?
You shot 2 or 3 guys on your property? Did you? Alite, you shot 2 or 3 guys on your property? Nothing against this guy. I got respect for people who do interviews, and shout out to him. Go subscribe to his channel. I'm not even sure the name of his channel, but if you guys know who this is, go subscribe.
You shot 2 or 3 guys on your property?
They come to kill me, 5 guys.
Burgers and fries.
Guys that were involved in cleaning up that property made statements. Dino Finelli, one of them. Danny Morrow also made statements on, was involved somewhere in the murder. These are regular guys that were involved.
And you were going to kill that douchebag Vito Guzzo, right?
Yeah, the bell system was Eugene's lips. That's what he fails to tell you guys. His lips smacked together when the guy tripped over the tripwire and the underground lip system. It wasn't a bell system. It was Eugene's lips slapped together when somebody tripped the wire. And this is what they did. When someone would trip the wire, this is what would happen. Intruder, intruder, intruder. Kill him, kill him. I don't know how many I killed. What the fuck?
2 or 3 guys on your property?
They come to kill me, 5 guys. Pete Gotti knew about it, Jr. They didn't make a move to come with me. I had the underground bell system, and I drove to the house. I shot.
He had an underground lip system. Intruder, intruder. What happened next, Johnny?
Shot it out with both of them. I believe I killed 2 or 3 of them.
He killed 2 or 3, but he doesn't know. You know, they got rid of the body. They didn't tell him how many he killed. And the other guys got away, and they just went off into the sunset. He did, you know, he had never had contact with him or nothing. That was it, you know. End of that story. Cops never came. There's no reports about this situation. Nothing. He's pretty good.
Vito Guzzo shot by your cousin.
Right.
Guys that were involved in the shooter and Joey Danka in the head by me. The shooter and Joey Danka with me. Frankie Burke shows up later on and meets us. I believe he killed the one guy in that.
He uses Frankie Burke's name quite a bit, doesn't he? I believe Frankie Burke's probably a killer. Mr. Leto here is soft as baby shit.
He's the shooter. I was involved in a shooting with Johnny Gebbett where I'm the driver of 4 Jamaicans. I'm not
4 Jamaicans. Jamaican me hungry with 5 Guys burgers and fries, John. Call 1-800-LIAR. Murder for hire. His sidekick, Chief Suckums.
not sure how many guys died on that shooting.
I'm not sure. I shot 4 Jamaicans, and I'm not sure how many died on that one.
He's the shooter, I'm the driver.
I thought you shot him, John. I thought you shot 4 guys. You just said you shot 4 guys. Then you just said he's the shooter, and you were the driver. So does that count as a murder? Do you put that notch on your gun since he was the shooter? How does that work?
Involved in at least a double homicide on my property when 5 guys came to kill me.
Oh, God.
3 guys on your property?
They come to kill me, 5 guys. Pete Gotti knew about it, Jr. They didn't make a move to come with me. I had the underground bell system, and I drove to the house. I shot it out with a couple of them. I believe I killed 2 or 3 of them.
He doesn't know how many he killed, you know? He loses count. He killed so many. He's losing count.
Guys that were involved in cleaning up that property made statements.
He killed him with a jar of Vaseline and a toothpick and a salami saber. It's on record. You can go look this up. It's on Wikipedia. Oh, man.
Finelli wanted them. Danny Morrow also made statements on, was involved somewhere in the murder. These are regular guys that were involved.
And you were going to kill that douchebag Vito Guzzo, right?
I had Vito Guzzo shot by your cousin 6 times.
Lips here talks like a big tough guy, but he ain't ever doing shit but hurting women. That's it. That's all he does. You know?
I did this to the door. I did this to the door. I pushed the door in.
In this Airbnb, right?
Yes, I pushed the door.
And whose card is on file here?
Yours.
There's your murderer. There's your Bonanno family murdering hitman.
Ends up living.
Right.
I also had.
Oh, wait. Did he just say he killed someone, but he ended up living? I think so.
Involved somewhere in the murder. These are regular guys that were involved.
And you were going to kill that douchebag Vito Guzzo, right?
I had Vito Guzzo shot by your cousin 6 times. He ends up living.
Right.
I also had shot Mike Lavigny in the chest that people are very aware of. Shot a guy off 75th Street, Jamaica Avenue in the back for robbing my brother. I'm not sure what his status was afterwards.
He shot a guy, killed him in the back. I don't know what his status was. Do you mark that down as a murder, John?
I shot my cousin, Nicky Pasquale. I shot Paul G. I shot bouncer at the swim club for beating up Johnny Boy Ruggiero. I shot a bouncer with Johnny Boy Ruggiero, drove for me out in the Hamptons for beating up John Koenig's son. I shot at the bulkhead, Sal Noto's brother-in-law, inside the bulkhead.
And he never got in trouble for any of this. Never got caught, none of that, because it never happened.
For beating up Joel Kane and saying he was going to kill him. I shot one of his friends, I believe it was his friend, in the chest outside the bulkhead. I shot 4 guys at Kickers nightclub over unionizing the bouncers, one of them in the stomach, the other guy in the hip and the shoulder, and 2 other guys in the legs.
I thought you killed him. You said you went into that club and you were killing people. And I looked up that incident, right? And guess what? A bunch of high school kids got shot. So if it wasn't him, and another incident, 2 women got killed. So Was that you, John? Did you kill the 2 women? Or did you shoot the high school kids? Because that's the only incident that happened around that time in that area. Oh, wait. The cops didn't come, right? But in your story, you said you waved the cops. Oh, yeah, it's in there. And they just ran past you. You had the smoking gun on your hip.
I shot Mike Pip in Flight 116 and 3 of his friends with a 22 50-shot Ruger rifle with guy Tony was in the car and Mickey. Mickey was unaware I was going to do the shooting, actually.
Is that the one where he said, don't worry, they'll fall? Adrenaline's pumping. Don't worry, they'll fall. This dude's insane.
I think Tony actually realized at first. And after the shooting, we went out drinking. I shot one guy for Ralph Ferrante.
The only shot he did is shot his pants. He shot his pants. He was the shooter on the JFK assassination. He shot and killed Carlo Gambino. Oh, wait, Carlo Gambino wasn't shot and killed. He gave him cancer and killed him. There's too many to count. I believe this is more than 12, Johnny boy.
On 80th Street, Mike's Pub in front. Shot 2 guys in front of Mondello's for Michael Catapano.
2 more guys. Like, I need to count this someday. I'm going to sit there and count it. Unless someone's keeping a tally.
They were baseball batting him. He batted a guy to death in front of old brother.
Did you hear what he just said? Okay, listen to this one. It gets funny.
They were baseball batting him. He batted a guy to death in front of old brother in with 3 guys. He went into a vegetable. I don't know if he's still a vegetable or whatever. It's been 30 years.
He just said he batted a guy to death. But he went into a vegetable. He doesn't know if he's still a vegetable. It's been 30 years. But he batted a guy to death.
Brother in with 3 guys.
I thought it was 5 guys, John.
He went into a vegetable. I don't know if he's still a vegetable. On 80th Street, Mike's Pub in front. Shot 2 guys in front of Mondello's for Michael Catapano. They were baseball batting him.
Listen close.
He batted a guy to death in front.
He batted a guy to death, right?
I shot one guy for Ralph Ferrante on 80th Street, Mike's Pub in front. Shot 2 guys in front of Mondello's for Michael Catapano. They were baseball batting him. He batted a guy to death in front of old brother in with 3 guys. He went into a vegetable. I don't know if he's still a vegetable or whatever. It's been 30 years.
He just said he batted him to death. So how do you go from being batted to death to being in a vegetable? I don't get it. Yo, we got Sonny Grasso in the building. Sounds like a conspiracy. What happened to no statute of limitations on murder? I guess he had absolution. He was able to kill everyone in the country, and he will not be charged with murder, I guess. That's how it works. He's like Rambo, you know, at the end, he did something good, and they let him go. Rambo. Yo, Stevie Bullets, how you doing, my friend? I'm doing great. Having a great show. 102 people in the house. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell before I send Johnny Boy to baseball bat you to death. But you might survive or be in a vegetables, okay? But he'll bat you to death.
On 80th Street, Mike's Pub in front. Shot 2 guys in front of Mondello's for Michael Catapano. They were baseball batting him. He batted a guy to death in front of old brother in with 3 guys. He went into a vegetable. I don't know if he's still a vegetable or whatever. It's been 30 years. I stabbed a guy in the neck who lived in Fort Lauderdale in front of everybody in the club. I got pinched right at the scene.
I thought he never got caught for any of this shit. Come on, Johnny, get your lies together. So you got pinched right at the scene. What happened next? Let me guess, you paid off the jury, right? This is great.
I mean, that list can go on. So, when people are talking about workers or somebody's telling me about Tommy Karate or there's not, I don't give a fuck about anybody, honestly.
He says he's tougher than Tommy Karate. The stand-up guy who didn't cooperate with the government, who's serving a life sentence right now. Oh, yeah, I got a letter from Tommy Karate right here, too. And this guy is totally full of shit. Giovanni, how are you? Thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to Australia. Hey, if you guys don't know, Andrew Tate has been arrested once again. This just happened a few hours ago. He was arrested again on charges of, hold on, I'll tell you right now. Pretty crazy. It's an arrest warrant from the UK. Romania handed UK, hold on, let me see. A court in Romania capital on Tuesday granted requests by British authorities to extradite a diverse online influencer, Andrew Tate, but only after legal proceedings against him in Romania have been concluded. His spokesperson says the Barnhurst Court appeal decision came after Tate, 37, and his brother, Tristan Tate, were detained on Monday evening on an arrest warrant issued by British authorities over allegations of aggression in the UK, case dating back to 2012 and 2015. The appeals court, where the Tate brothers appeared in handcuffs on Tuesday, escorted by police, also ordered him immediately released. Tate's lawyer hailed the court decision, saying it provides an opportunity for the brothers to participate fully in their defense for the legal process, to proceed in a transparent manner. 4 women have reported Andrew Tate to the UK authorities for alleged violence and physical abuse. But the Crown Prosecution Service decided not to prosecute him. The alleged victims then turned to crowdfunding to cover their legal costs to pursue a civil case against him. Of course, they want money. We handed over our evidence about the horrific acts of violence we endured and waited for action. But 4 years later, we were told the UK authorities would not prosecute him, said the state on their campaign page. It's our one remaining route to hold him accountable. It wasn't immediately clear that Tristan Tate was accused in the UK before the court's ruling Tuesday. They said the Tate brothers, who were dual UK and US citizens, reject charges and express profound disappointment in such serious allegations that are being resurrected without substantial new evidence. Andrew Tate is charged in a separate case in Romania with human trafficking and forming a criminal gang to sexually exploit women. He was arrested near Bucharest in December 2022, along with his brother and 2 Romanian women. Romanian prosecutors formally indicted all four in June, and they have denied the allegations. It's not looking good for them. It's looking pretty bad. They keep getting these cases that keep popping out. Latin Butterfly, thank you for getting the membership. I appreciate it. If there's a choice between Aliar or Junior, then Junior, I believe, all day. Me too, 100%. Sonny Grasso. Do a show on stand-up guy from Old Hood, Louis Ferrante. You already know. I've been in talks with Louis Ferrante. Shout out to him. Alite would never last in Chicago with all that storytelling. I don't believe he would either. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, you think they're cooperating with the government? Possibly, right? Could happen. Here, let's take another look at the junior stuff about Mr. Alite. That's crazy. He was sentenced in 2011. He was released in 2012. How does that work? Where they do that at?
In the case of John Alite, who for the most part, man on man, was a coward, always a coward. He was a hide in the bush kind of guy. He cried in front of the judge and says, I only pulled the trigger one time, Your Honor. He cried at his sentencing. But I had knowledge of 3 or 4 of the murders.
Okay. It looks like he had knowledge of a lot more murders than that, because he took a lot more stories and proclaimed them to be his own.
And she gave him a great deal. She gave him a great deal. The U.S. attorney in Florida wanted him to have 17 years. New York, believe it or not, argued to get him down as low as possible. She gave him a 10-year deal, 120 months. He cried, was removed from the court, and then they came back several months later, resold him one more time. They repackaged him. After we punished him and sent him chasing, they never used him again.
And then they used his face as a bottle cap opener, you know, for Heinekens and Coronas. Ain't that right, Johnny? And then he had his buddy kick the door in and steal all of Ric Flair's jewelry. This is for entertainment purposes only.
He was caught in so many lies in my case, they never used him again, ever. He was retired, this guy. But yet they repackaged and says, lied to the judge and says, Susan Bucklew, and said, we achieved 4 more convictions as a result of the information that John Alite has given us. Can you take more time off? And she did. She further cut his sentence. He was released out to the public.
Crazy.
And here's a guy that now, speaking engagements, you know, he says, I was involved in 15 murders. He did 15 murders. Another speaking engagement, dozens of people. I killed dozens of people. The embellishments get greater and greater and greater and greater because why? Because he was given absolution. The FBI, his handlers had given him absolution. So now he's emboldened. So now the reality of what you represented to that judge is no longer the reality. The truth now is what you're saying now. Huh? I'm not a humble guy. I'm not thankful for the second shot of being released.
For the most part, almost the entire jury didn't believe the story.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think these guys are humbled to be released? And do you think they're taking advantage of their second chance? That's the question I have for you guys. What do you guys think? Eugene, you taking advantage of your second chance, huh? Huh, bud? I'd really like to know.
I pushed the door in. I did.
Come on!
I pushed the door in. I did this to the door. I did this to the door. I pushed the door in.
Even Gene's connection, he'll be remotely, and hopefully the sound everybody hears what has to be said. First off, I'm going to say we anticipate a lot of negative comments. Bring them on, but try to keep them respectful.
I'm gonna fucking murder you, bitch. You watch.
Oh, shit. Looks like this shit's getting deep, ain't it?
This is Dominic Sicali. Breaking news.
If you guys like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I got a lot more content on the way. Part 2 of the most controversial shit on the planet is tonight. Don't miss it.
This is Gaetano Castellano. I know you probably haven't heard of me because you haven't heard of a lot of real guys. I'm Paul Castellano's nephew, and I'm chatting with Staxx. Exclusive.
Part 2 tonight. Don't miss it. There's a lot more to come. If you guys like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this content, too fucking bad, start your own podcast. I appreciate all you guys. If you want to donate to the show, you can hit up my Cash App at Chattin with Staxx or Chattin with Staxx. Money sign Chattin with Staxx. If you want to be a guest on the show, hit up my email, BillStaxx2021. And remember, don't be a bitch.